know this ain't no 10-second race.
I got nothing but time.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the great movies that were negatively affected by low Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Drink up me hearty Joe.
Number 10, Top Gun.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
Tony Scott's 80s flick may be a cult favorite now, but it didn't impress critics at first. Earning just 58% on Rotten Tomatoes, they dismissed it as a flashy military recruitment ad with no substance. Yet it crushed at the box office, and Tom Cruise totally nailed it as the cocky maverick, while the film gave us a rare glimpse into the world of fighter pilots. Sure, the plot's thin, but the movie's packed with thrilling dogfights, cool characters, and a killer soundtrack. Today, this beloved pop culture icon is celebrated for its high-energy sequences, memorable lines, and launching Cruise to superstardom. It may be overly cool, but that's precisely what makes it charming, and why it deserves way more credit.
You can be my wingman anytime. You can be mine.
Number 9, Legend.
Are you afraid to kiss me, Jack?
I'm afraid you'll break my heart.
And steal your heart. You're dear to me as life itself.
The 80s delivered some seriously bizarre movies, and this dark fantasy is no exception. A young Tom Cruise plays Jack, a peasant trying to stop the Lord of Darkness from taking over the world. Sounds like a fantasy lover's dream, right? Well, critics didn't think so. Despite Ridley Scott's direction and stunning special effects, it only pulled in a mere 42% on Rotten Tomatoes. But now it's hailed as a hidden gem, way ahead of its time and proof of Scott's genius.
You belong here. You're my prince.
I'm only Jack.
There's no defending the plot's shallowness, yet this whimsical, visually striking film deserves more love. Whether it's the director's cut or theatrical release, it's a true legend, especially with Tim Curry's scene-stealing performance.
Was it not your sin trapped the unicorn? Even now, the evil seed of what you have done germinates within you.
Blade 2.
We're target all the night places where vampires congregate. Blood banks, safe houses. Bigger the better. So, what's first?
Guillermo del Toro's comic book film is finally receiving the recognition it deserves as a game changer in the superhero genre. But initially, critics panned it as awful, predictable, and pointless. This gruesome Marvel film, which pits a half-vampire against vampires, has just a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes. Why? Some argue it's too much of a bloodbath and CGI overload. Of course, it has its flaws, but it's undeniably cool.
We are together in this, remember? Why do you hate us so much?
It's fate. It's in my blood.
It takes everything fans love about the first film and cranks it up. It's dark, gritty, and feels straight out of a comic. What more could you want? Plus, Blade 2 isn't just a superhero flick. It's horror too, thanks to Del Toro's brilliant touch. And Wesley Snipes, he was born to play Blade.
Take me to it, and I'll consider you a loose end.
Number 7, Wet Hot American Summer. We owe Netflix's TV franchise for reminding everyone just how wonderful this almost forgotten gem really is. Set in an 80s summer camp and featuring a cast of truly funny actors, David Wayne's satirical comedy flopped both critically and commercially.
All eyes here. I would like to announce that Ben and I are planning to produce a musical number from Godspell for the talent show tonight. I'm sorry, Ben is producing. I'm directing/choreographing.
Despite its fun factor, critics slammed it as silly and tacky. resulting in a measly 38% on the tomato meter. But over the years, this nostalgic comedy found its groove and blossomed into a cult classic, with moviegoers finally embracing its wonky world and bizarrely fun premise.
Can I talk to you for a second?
Sure.
Okay, well,
Time's up. You said a second.
I want to ask you something.
So you want to talk for more than a second?
It turns out critics missed the movie's point. Not everyone gets it. It wasn't silly. It was cleverly designed to subvert expectations, and it did so in its own unique way.
So that's where my priorities are right now. Sex, specifically with Andy and not with you. But you're really nice. I mean, everybody thinks so. And I'm sorry if this isn't the direction that you saw things going between us.
Number 6. Home Alone 2. Lost in New York. Creating a follow-up to an instant classic is no easy feat, and this Christmas sequel faced a ton of flack for being a carbon copy of the original. This time, Kevin McAllister is lost in New York, and the film dials up the violence as he battles the unrepentant burglars again.
Hiya, pal.
Yeah, it might feel like deja vu, but that's what makes it so good. It knows exactly why people love the first film and doubles down on those elements, making them even bigger.
That's 2. Come on, let's get him.
Oops.
These pranks are still clever and way more brutal, and there's also plenty of heart. Honestly, it deserves far better than the Rotten Tomatoes 35% score.
Thank you.
I won't forget you. Trust me.
Number 5. Man of Steel.
So I'm alone? No. You're as much a child of Earth now as you are of Krypton. You can embody the best of both worlds.
After Superman Returns fumbled at the box office, expectations soared for the next movie. Enter Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan to create this phenomenal comic book flick. But when Man of Steel finally hit theaters, critics mauled it for straying too far from classic Superman movies. Starring Henry Cavill, the film offers a fresh take on Clark Kent's origin story, but it's often criticized for being too depressing and illogical.
You have Jor-El's memories, his conscience. Can you experience his pain? I will harvest the codex from your son's corpse.
While there are some valid complaints about this reboot, does it deserve all the backlash just for defying people's expectations? Truth is, Man of Steel stands tall among superhero movies, with stunning visual effects, a fantastic musical score, intense action, and a stellar cast. Honestly, this spectacular film is way too underrated.
Lois Lane, welcome to the planet.
Glad to be here, Lois.
Number 4. The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Take mine. Let's race. What? I want to see what the kids got.
The third film in the Fast and Furious franchise wasn't received with open arms. It took a Paul Walker and Vin Diesel-driven movie into the streets of Tokyo, leaving fans dismayed. In fact, it stands as one of the most maligned movies in the franchise, still holding a low 37% on the tomato meter.
I gotta admit, it felt good. It felt like
everything else just disappears.
Apparently, many failed to see that being different isn't such a bad thing. More than the films that followed, this divisive entry stuck to its racing roots, even if most of the Fast family was MIA. Now, as the franchise has spiraled into over-the-top stunts and mindless action, fans are beginning to appreciate Tokyo Drift for its fresh and surprisingly decent story. Number 3. The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
You're not a nobody. You're somebody. Like that. All right, listen to me. Now I need you. You're my eyes and ears out here. All right? All right. Stay out there.
After Spider-Man 4 was canceled, Sony rebooted the series with a fresh cast and director, a movie that many fans didn't like. While the first installment found some acceptance, the second was unfairly bashed. In it, Peter Parker juggles a lot, protecting his girlfriend, investigating his parents' deaths, and battling sinister villains. With so much happening, the film felt disjointed, leaving fans and critics frustrated.
You're trying to protect yourself.
Look, we just need a bit more time to figure out something else.
But while Mark Webb's Spider-Man sequel may not be the best superhero movie, thanks partly to Rotten Tomatoes, its bad reputation has kept many from enjoying this genuinely amazing film. Throw in Jamie Foxx's awesome Electro, impressive swinging effects, and the electrifying chemistry between Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield, and you'll see it isn't all that bad.
Both of us. I'm following you now. I'm just gonna follow you everywhere. I'm just gonna follow you the rest of my life.
Number 2. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. This roller coaster of a movie has it all. A high-stakes plot, great character arcs, bigger special effects, and amazing fight scenes.
Fight or not, you're not running, Jack.
If we don't stand together, they'll hunt us down one by one till there'll be none left. But you.
Quite like the sound of that.
So, why was it hated by some fans and critics? Picking up a few months after Dead Man's Chest, it follows Will, Elizabeth, and Captain Barbossa as they try to rescue Jack Sparrow.
If you wish to see its grand architect, look to your left.
My hands are clean in this. Figuratively.
Truthfully, the plot isn't the easiest to follow, and that's the film's biggest problem. But a little complexity shouldn't be enough to warrant the hate and paltry 48% on Rotten Tomatoes. We dare to say this is a fitting conclusion to the first 2 films, and far better than other follow-up installments. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Jennifer's Body.
I'm needy enough with the screaming. You're such a cliche. But we always share your bed when we have slumber parties.
Initially perceived as just a sexy horror flick with high school besties sharing a passionate kiss, Karen Kusama and Diablo Cody's film was hugely misjudged upon arrival. It quickly became an easy-to-hate flop centered around a possessed cheerleader with nothing creative to offer, or so critics thought.
I care about you so much, Chip. More than I've ever had the guts to admit.
Earning a dismal 46% on Rotten Tomatoes and underperforming at the box office, it seemed doomed. Fast forward a few years, though, and it's now a cult classic, with many finally realizing that it offers much more than meets the eye. Its clever take on teen horror tropes proves it didn't deserve all the criticisms.
You know what this is for? It's for cutting boxes.
And let's be honest, Megan Fox was nothing short of mesmerizing. Which movie do you think the critics got wrong? Let us know in the comments section.
Well, you didn't think I forgot about you, did you?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.